All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, JR Lee, and I'm back for another special episode of the Fly on the Wall Show. This is a special episode. This is episode 61 of the Fly on the Wall Show. I've done 60 episodes from my phone since October of 2020. And this is not just a special conversation because of how far we've come. This is a special conversation because I'm joined by the legendary Keith Perrin. And Keith, for the people who may not know who you are and what it is that you do, can you please tell us a little about yourself, please, sir?
Well, I'm the garbage man in I'm a co-founder of FUBU, and I'm the CEO of FUBU Radio, father, husband, hard worker.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to being a father and shout out to being a husband, man. So Keith, man, this is about to be an amazing conversation. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, sir. Let's start off from the beginning. Like, where are you from? Like, how has your environment shaped who you are today?
I'm from Queens. I was born and raised in Queens. Initially lived in Queens Village, Shadyville, as they call it. Crew and 50 and Tony Yayo and all these guys. From the hood, from the neighborhood, But I grew up in Queens Village, and then started my life. And then I want to say growing up for me was really hard because my pops left around 8 years old, and he was taking care of business, but he wasn't there.
Right.
But I was lucky enough to have a mother who was she was a 5%er, so she was like really grounded in her ways, and the things that she talked about was just different from what everybody else talked about. And then she was a fighter, so she knew what I needed, and she taught me everything she knew. But growing up in Queens is they always say something in the water in Queens. It's like you grow up out there and you just want to achieve more. And I used to always tell my moms, like, when I grow up, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna buy you a house. And she used to be like, yeah, okay, boy, all right, now go on now. But in my mind, that's what I really wanted to do. And then I think when I was around 13, 14, about 14, I had went to Bayside High School. And that's where I met Jay and Damon. Actually, I met Damon. We got cool first because I used to just be, I look back at it now and I always say I was an angry kid. And now I'm able to, determine where that anger was coming from as I'm, an older, adult. But back then I was just an angry kid. And, I used to get kicked out of the class all the time, cursing out the teachers all the time. And Damon came up to me one day. He said, yo, man, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, are you all right, man? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. This, that, and the other. And he's like, well, why you always got an attitude? Why you always cursing out the teachers?
If I may ask, where do you think that anger stems from at that age, looking back now?
It just stems from, me not having, I had a lot of friends who, had 2-parent households and had cars, and like my mom's ain't, she didn't have a car. We were living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I was sharing a room with my sister, until I got to about 13, 14, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, Mom, I can't do this no more. We gotta move. We need a house.
Fact.
I just was mad that I didn't have what everybody else had. And I didn't understand it at the time. I just, it was just, my surroundings. But I just, my father wasn't there, but I had great people around me. I had my grandfathers who were like really, like fathers to me because they raised me, they taught me, what to do, what not to do. And then I had, my grandmothers were there and doing the same thing along, with my mother. So I had great people around me. I just was angry. And then me and him just bonded in high school. We just bonded, and then, he introduced me to Jay. He was like, yo, this is my boy, coming up, he lives around my way. And then soon after that, I met Carl, because that was his other boy. And then we just became good friends and started going on tour and with LL back in the Fresh Fest days. And, then I started to look at these guys like, okay, the guys that I'm growing up with around my block, we getting in trouble, we stealing, we robbing, we selling drugs, we doing all this kind of shit. And then I see these guys over here and they're pretty much kind of got their foot in the street, but not really in the street, and they were just doing different things. So
and this was before FUBU actually got started.
Yeah, this is before FUBU started. Right. And then I kind of liked the fact that I was going out of town at 15. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you guys were going on tour with LL before everything started.
Yeah. Before everything started. I was I think I went on my first tour with Fresh Fest was 1985, 86, something like that. I went on tour with L, went to Philly, went to DC, went to what was it? There's another couple other states, went to like 3 or 4 dates. But for me, that was huge. I used to see this guy riding around in the neighborhood. Now I'm on tour with him, trying to pick up his groupies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
at a young age, you're kind of able to kind of see like behind the scenes, the music industry and how that kind of works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and L is not that much older than I am, so it was like, I think he was like 18 or something. I was like 15, 16, so it was like, the girls were like my age basically. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I formed a bond with these guys back then, and then it just went from there.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing. And so, growing up in that type of environment, it could be kind of rough. Do you feel like your environment kind of shapes who you are in a sense? Do you feel like, they say like you got to escape your environment depending if it's bad or not. Do you feel like one can kind of outgrow their environment? How do you feel like your environment affects you when you're growing up?
I think you could take it either way. You could, you can look at it like the water's half empty, the glass is half empty, or the glass is half full. You're pessimistic about it, you could be optimistic about it. But, absolutely. I just always felt like I deserved better, and I had to do something that was going to bring, that, what I wanted to my family. I always wanted to buy my mother a house, and kudos to me, I was able to do that. So
man, absolutely, that's amazing.
That day was very, rewarding for me. But sometimes you get sucked up by your environment, and my mother wouldn't allow me to get sucked up. Like I said, she was a 5%, so some of the stuff that she taught me or was teaching me was a little different than, what other mothers were teaching their kids. Like I'll give you a crazy story. I was 14, and I used to always lie about my age back then because I had this baby face. So everybody thought I was younger than I was. So I always tried to be 1 year older than I really was. A friend of mine came by my house and he was like, yo, it's summertime just started. He was like, yo, we need some bikes, man. We knew that our parents wasn't buying us no damn bikes, especially mine, because, she was a single mother and she was working to provide for 2 kids at the time. So he was like, yo, let's go up to Alley Pond Park and see if we can find some bikes. Now, find some bikes, you know what that means, right? So
absolutely.
So my dumb ass and my other friend walk up there. Now, it's about a 2-mile walk. So we were not trying to walk that far and walk back.
Wasn't walking back.
So we get up there and we see a couple of kids riding on bikes. So we're like, okay, all right, we got to figure this out. So I said, yo, I got to go to the bathroom. So I go behind a tree and then I hear, some commotion. And as I come from behind the tree, I see one of my friends riding off with a bike. So I look at my other friend. I'm like, yo, what happened? He's like, yo, he just took the kid's bike. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell we going to do? I said, yo, we got to get out of here. So we started trying to walk home and, you just feel like somebody's watching you. And, once we turned a couple of corners and got, a couple of blocks away, the guys just jumped out on us. The kid's father and I guess some of his boys just jumped out on us, slapped my man up, tried to slap me, but I kind of moved my head. But before you know it, they were taking us to the police station. So I'm in the police station and the cop says, how old are you? And my friend says, 16. And he, how old are you? And I was like 15. And he was like, both of y'all going to jail. I was like, wait a minute. I'm only 14. I'm only 14. And then he was like, okay, take him to the cell. You call your mother. So I called my mother, and my mother's sleeping, and she wakes up and she's like,
I know she was mad.
She was like, what? Sergeant who? All I could hear through the phone was, I can curse on here? Can I curse on here?
Oh, yeah, you can curse, absolutely.
He said, put that motherfucker on the phone. So I said, oh, man. So I get the phone and said, Ma, I didn't do it. Oh, motherfucker, I'm going to beat your ass when I get up there. I'm like, oh, my God. So now I'm sitting there, and my house is maybe about 25, 30 minutes away from precinct, right?
Yeah.
So she gets somebody to bring her up there. All I could hear her walking through the hall is, where that motherfucker at? Where that? I was like, oh, God. So she comes into the sergeant's office or the captain's office, wherever I was at, and she says, she said, what you done did now? I said, I didn't do nothing, Ma. I'm telling you, I didn't do nothing. You was there? I said, yeah, I was there. Then you did it. I was like, oh my God. Like, and she's just like going off on me, telling me how she's gonna beat my ass when I get home. And I'm like, man. So the captain is looking at me, and he's like, I've never seen this before. He said, one parent has came in here and said their son did it. You're the only woman that ever came in here and said that motherfucker did it. Like, I know
she kept it real.
Yeah. So captain took me for a walk, and he was like, he said, man, listen, you about to go to jail for something you didn't even do.
Right.
Like, you have to understand, by the company that you keep and the decisions you make can end you up in a position where you don't want to be. And if you're gonna steal something, steal some diamonds, steal something big.
Something that you gonna get some money for.
Don't steal no damn bike and ruin your life. Yeah. And that kind of stuck with me. And after that, I was just like, you know what? I gotta stay out of, I gotta stay out of the system. That she preached that, like, since I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 or 5, maybe. Don't ever let them put a number on you. Don't ever let them put, I'm like, Mom, what the hell are you talking about? Don't ever get locked up. When they put that number on you, your life is over. Like, she just really drilled that into me. So when I got caught, man, I was like, you know what? I got to clean myself up and, try to figure this out. Because on the ride home, she was like, how you going to buy me a house from jail? You can't buy me a house from jail. So, so things like that I went through, kind of shaped me, because I was like, I tried to sell drugs for 2 weeks. That shit ain't work. I made a couple of dollars, but that ain't work, because I was more scared of going to jail. And at that time, they was giving out with your mom too. Yeah, but they was giving out 20, 30 years for a fucking piece of crack. Like, one crack value, you was going to jail for 20 years. So I was like, I don't want to go down that road. I got to get a job. So when I finally went to Bayside High School, there was a program called a cooperative program where you go to school a week, you work a week. So being that my mother never had any money, I was like, Ma, this is perfect. You don't have to give me money. I can go to school, then I can go to work, and then I can go to school less, because, that wasn't, because I just, at that time, and I didn't really understand, like, I swear to God, I used to go to school in the morning, I give me a tall can, and I'd be drunk as hell in school, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then, at lunchtime, Damon is talking about, let's go to White Castles and get some burgers and some 40s. And then I come back and I'm drinking 40s in the afternoon.
So you wasn't worried about school?
Yeah, I just, what happened was, growing up, where I grew up, everybody was going to Andrew Jackson, Van Buren, Hillcrest, and I was zoned to go to Andrew Jackson. So my mother was like, "You not going to Andrew Jackson?" I was like, "My grandmother live a block away." She's like, "You are not going to Andrew Jackson. You're not going there. I'm going to put you in another school." So she put me in. I'm
assuming those were like bad schools.
At the time, they were bad schools, but it turned into a 600 school, and then it turned into an academy or some shit. I don't know what it is right now, but she put me in this school all the way in the white neighborhood. And I was like, man, what the hell? I got to take 2-3 buses to get there every day, So I was I think I was depressed a little bit, because I wasn't around my friends, and all my friends were in Jackson. And, I was in this school. I didn't really know too many people. Then I started meeting people that I knew from around the way, and then I met Damon, and then we just clicked, and we was like together all the time. And then, so that alone had me in this crazy set of mind. So I didn't really want to be in school. You know, I was smart. I could do the work. You know, when I sat down and applied myself, I would get 90, 95s and stuff like that. It just, you know, I just was going through a period in my life where it was
Absolutely.
crazy.
Absolutely, man. And so I know you said you was able to, you know, become a part of that program. What jobs did you eventually start getting? Like, what was your first job?
Whew, this is crazy. So I don't even think I've told this story publicly, but I'm gonna drop it on you because it's just as a fly on the wall.
I appreciate that. Let's
Since
go.
it's a fly on the wall.
Absolutely.
I got my first job. Now, mind you, everybody's working these jobs. They're coming back. You know, my boy is you know, Damon is the only one that really didn't have a great job, but he was still making more money than I was.
Wow.
But my first job was, working for the American Foundation for the Blind. So what that was it was just us in this little warehouse, and they used to give these tapes out to the libraries for the blind to listen to. So we had to get the tapes in, erase them, relabel them, repackage them. I mean, record them and then repackage them and put it back. So I was working for that, and I was making like $3.35 an hour.
Wow.
So everybody else was making like $10 an hour, $8 an hour, $15.
What was like minimum wage back then? You remember?
$3.35 an hour.
Oh shit! All right, I said minimum wage.
So I was like, damn. I'm like,
what I'm doing?
I got a job, and you know, I'm thinking I'm gonna score one of these big jobs. So I wound up getting a job for like $3.35 an hour, and I was cool with it. I was like, you know what? I'll deal with this till I can get better.
I got some money.
And then I had this guy that used to work there. And he was worse off than I was. Like, you know, I felt bad for him. I used to feed him, you know, because I'm big on that. Like, if I'm eating, you eating. You know, if you in a worse situation, I'll split my fucking burger with you so that you can eat. You know what I mean? So I see that he would come to work every day with the same clothes on, stinking, and you know, so I knew he, you know, and then I sat there and I talked to the kid, and he told me what he was going through, and his mother was doing bad. I think she was on drugs or something like that. So, you know, we vibing, and we became real cool. So one day we sitting in the place, you know, the job just chilling, and we had this manager, and he was like this Jamaican guy. He was like just so he was the epitome of a brown noser. You know what I'm saying? So, and I didn't even know the word before that. I was like, yo, this dude got his face up. These guys' asses like telling on everybody, snitching.
It's so crazy, man.
Doing all kind of little things that he really didn't have to do because dudes were working.
Yeah.
But he used to play with us a lot, you know, and just joke around, and you know. So the dude, one of the dudes, this dude that I was talking about was playing with him one day, and he turned around and slapped the fire out of this dude, man. And everybody everybody looked in there and was like, what the hell's going on? Like, is this guy serious? Like, why did he hit him like that? I mean, he slapped him with a spit, went out his mouth. So the dude was like, he was in shock, like, I can't believe he hit me. And I was like, man, you crazy. I was saying, he would slap me like that, and I'm losing this job. Like, like we not even playing it like that. We're not getting down like that. And then he was like, you know, I want to get him back, but you know, I don't want to lose my job. I was like, well, either you're gonna lose your job or you're gonna get him back. And then you know, so after that, he went back to him. He said, yo, I want to fight you. And the dude was like, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? Okay, we're gonna fight in an hour. Within the next 10 minutes, he went downstairs to management, told the management that he threatened him.
That's crazy.
To fight him, and then he got the kid fired. Now the kid is bawling. Yeah, I've never seen a grown man cry, especially at that time in my life. I've never seen a guy cry like that. Like, this dude was bawling. He was like, I can't go home. He was afraid to go home, to tell his mother he didn't have a job no more because he was, you know, she was taking the money to feed them. So I felt real bad for the dude, man. I was like, you know, this is the old Keith. I was like,
yeah.
Listen, you want to get him back?
Let's go.
I'm gonna unlock the warehouse. You come in there and you do your thing. You get the fuck up out of here. So he came in there. The dude, they fought or whatever. He whooped the dude's ass and dude took his bloody ass back down to management. Management came back upstairs and said, "You're all fired. Give me your card key. Give me your card keys that we had." So everybody looked at me and they was like, "Oh man, you got us all fired." I was like, "I'm sorry, bro. What you want me to say,
Principles, man?
I said, "Listen, there's just certain things that got to be done that had to be done." But that was my first job, and then I got fired from that, and then I got they put me back in school for the next 4 months because I couldn't find a job. And then one day, my teacher, who I absolutely adored, at the time he was gay. I didn't know he was gay, but he, after we left school, we found out, but I mean, one of the coolest teachers I've ever had. And he always looked out for me. He understood, he used to talk to me and figure out, what was really going on with me. And I just appreciated him for that. And he wanted to get me another job at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So I used to work for HUD. I started working for HUD when I was 17. And from there, I got fired from there, for doing my job. But, and then after that, I went into the private sector where basically what I was doing for HUD, I was now doing for the private sector. And I had a great boss, Billy Richards, and a Dave Farron. I really appreciate them. When you look back at people in your life, like I really appreciate them because both of them had my best interests at heart. They was like, this young Black kid, he's smart, he's a go-getter. We're gonna try to do whatever we can for him, and hopefully he'll make it out. And when I went there, I was so I always believe in go above and beyond what's required of you, because if I have a job, I want to know the person's job next to me. I want to know the person's job over here. I want to know what you do, so, and then I kind of pick up on everything that everybody does and see if I can do it too, just
that's the best way to learn, in my opinion.
Yeah. So when I was there, I was knocking out, just knocking out shit. And she was like, "Man, you're like a boy wonder. Like, I'm so glad to have you here. This place has never been so organized." And and I got 3 promotions. I went from a rental assistant with a little typewriter table, the typewriter table ain't but maybe 36 inches long, and then I was behind her door, so every time somebody opened the door, they like, boom, they would hit my table. And then I moved up to an office assistant. Then I moved into a assistant manager. So now I'm going and inspecting apartments. This is all within 18 months, so I'm like, I just turned 19, I'm getting ready to go on 20.
You were still young.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go on 20 because I lost the job. I lost the other job when I was like 19, almost 20 when I got appointed to assistant manager. And then was like 3 months later, my boss, I had just turned 20. My boss was like, "Hey, you think you can be a property manager?" And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Like, it was one of those scared, like, yeah, of course. He was like,
yeah.
He was like, "You sure?" He said, "There ain't no turning back from this. I can't demote you back to assistant manager. I would just have to let you go." And I was like, "You know what? If you can give me 3 months of just tutoring, and I might not even need that much, but if you can tutor me for like 3 months, I think I can do it." And I got promoted to a property manager at 20 years old. And I used to run New West Apartments in Harlem on 111th Street between 5th and Lenox. There's like 200 apartments. I was in charge of 200 apartments. I think the budget was like $6 million.
That's right. 20 years old.
Yeah. So I did that for 6 years. But at the time I was doing that, we had just started FUBU, but it was in its infancy stages. So we was just doing certain things and printing out certain hats and doing things like that. And then Damon was like, "Yo, I need everybody to quit their job." Now I'm making like 50,000 in 1995. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just getting it. So I was like, man, I ain't quitting my job. But it was a long story behind that. This tenant, she just didn't like me. I think she liked me, but I just think that, I wasn't reciprocal with it. So
Absolutely.
she just went the other way, and she just started hating me, and she wanted everything done that, that really couldn't be done. I could not give you a refrigerator if you're not next on the list for a refrigerator. I have this 96-year-old lady next door to you who has, a contamination of roaches and stuff in her refrigerator, and I have to give her a refrigerator and a stove because a stove doesn't work because it's like rat droppings or grease, and it just was crazy. So I
got some wild stories from that job.
Yeah, I got crazy stories, but I had to take care of what I had to take care of according to the direction of the job. Like, so if you say this person is next, then that person is next. I can't skip over that person and give, because things come, I might get 6 refrigerators a year, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So I have to do it like according. Plus they check your records.
Absolutely.
So anyway, she didn't like me. And then one day she was just calling HUD and telling everybody at HUD that I was selling drugs and selling cocaine on a property and all this crazy stuff. And then these people at HUD, they know me. So they calling me on like, yo, what you did to this lady? I'm like, man, she want her whole floors done. She want a new refrigerator. And then the thing about Section 8 is you have to be certified. So if your paperwork ain't together, I can't, you just get set to the side because, it's nothing on your from your apartment that needs to be done that you don't have to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? You have to still pay rent. So she owed like, I want to say like $10,000-$15,000 in back rent.
And she was making all these demands?
And she was making all these demands. And I was like, listen, just take care of your paperwork, we certify, and then I can start putting some of this stuff together for you. So make a long story short, she came, she called the office one day and she's talking to me and I'm like, listen, I got, I can't do this right now because she's yelling and she's cursing at me on the phone. I'm like, I'm a grown man. My mom don't even talk to me like this. You're not going to sit up here and talk to me like this. So I said, if you don't, tone it down, I'm going to have to hang up. Yeah. F you, motherfucker. Click. Then she called back. You motherfucker. Click. And then I'm trying to balance these books. So I'm like a few dollars off. And we had this big ass ledger. So it's not like a computer where you in the computer and you can find it. Like I had to go through every line and figure out if a 4 was a 7 or, a 1 was a 7 or whatever it is. Right. And I was trying to locate that. So that was, my main focus at that point, trying to get that money down. And, you cannot send it in if it's not balanced. So next thing I know, I hear somebody banging on the door. So I said, what's going on? So I go to the front door. She's kicking on the glass door for like, boo, boo. I'm like, what the hell's wrong? So I buzz it in. She comes in. You might leave that. Start cursing at me. I said, listen, I appreciate if you don't talk to me like this. Just show me respect. Don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, so she didn't, kept cursing like she was in charge. I walked away from her. As I got closer to the back room, I just felt something like she
put her hands on you. Oh man!
And I turned around and she slapped the fire out of me. Wow!
Oh, God!
So my meeting, I'm still. Young, wild, I got this good job, but I got a little wildness in me. So I just grabbed her like, what the hell's wrong with you? And I started to like, I was getting ready to go in, but she was a woman. So when I looked at her and she looked scared, I just let her go. Yeah. I said, you know what? I'm going to call the cops on you. First time I ever called the cops on somebody. I called the cops on her. I said, this woman assaulted me. I want her locked up. So she said, yeah, he assaulted me. I want him locked up.
Wow, I wonder who they believe.
I don't know how this thing works. So they said, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna have to lock both of y'all up. I said, no, I got this thing. I didn't touch her. You see the mark on my face. She don't got no marks on her. But she said, yeah, he punched me. I'm like, anyway, I gotta finish this report, which is due tonight. I can't afford to go to jail. So I said, you know what? Go ahead,
Let's let it go.
Let it go. Yeah. So I go back in there, next 10 minutes, I find it. Boom. All right, close everything up. shipping it out. 2 minutes later, bang, bang, bang. I said, the hell is this? So I go to the door again. I'm thinking it's her. Now it's her son, right? So I said, okay. Her son, he's like 6'3", 6'4".
What time it is?
But now I'm pissed off because she slapped me. I couldn't do nothing to her. Her son is down there threatening me. I'm gonna whoop his ass though. Like I was like, I'm gonna whoop his ass. Like I'm gonna beat his ass for her. So when I went back in the room, I used to keep some Timbs and jeans in my closet. So I took my suit off, put my jeans and Timbs on, went out there. He was gone. So now I go ring his bell. Bring your ass. You want to fight? Bring your ass outside. Because I was heated. But then I called my man. I said, yo, bring that thing up here. I need you to come. Blah, 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 blah. He was like, I'll be right there. So he got up there. So by the time all of this is escalating, the guy don't want to come downstairs. He don't want none of this.
Absolutely not.
So I'm in the office. I just walked back to the office. I took all my plaques off the wall.
That was a moment for you.
I put them all in a box, 2 boxes that I had, all my paperwork and files. I took the boxes. My boy came. I walked outside. I put him in his car. He said, "What you doing with this?" I said, "Take this to my mother's house, and I'll see you when I get home." Right? And he was like, "Nah, I'm not leaving you right now. Like shit might go down. Like
it's real. It's real.
When I leave, you leaving." So I was like, "All right, cool." So packed up my stuff, closed the office, and left. Next day, I go to work. Jeans, sneakers, I'm already resigned.
You know what time it was,
for the job. And my vice president meets me there. The regional vice president meets me there at 9:00 in the morning. So I know when she comes, it's problem. Yeah. So she's like, "Yeah, I heard you was selling coke out of here and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And I heard about this incident last night." And I said, it is what it is. I said, "You guys are going to believe this person over me. I've been here for 6, 7 years now. You've never had a problem with me. All right, if that's how you want to get down, if that's how you want to do it." Like, and she said, "What happened to all of your plaques and stuff on the wall?" I said, "Well, the writing's pretty much on the wall. I know you're here to fire me, so just do what you're gonna do." And she was like, "No, I'm not gonna fire you, So I said, "Okay." So I never came back to work. So they had to fire me because if I would have quit, I wouldn't get unemployment.
You wouldn't get no benefits.
I had to feed my daughter, at the time that she had a baby girl.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my whole first couple of jobs. And then
that's crazy. And, what year was that when you eventually
that was 90, that was the end of that was the beginning of 96 or the end of 95, I think.
So FUBU started in 1992.
Yeah, we were doing it while I couldn't. And then the thing about it is when they went on that first trip to Vegas, I couldn't go because I couldn't take a week off.
You had a job.
I had a job. I was the only one that had a job like that I couldn't take a week off. So I sent my cousin. Yeah. So when they came back and they were saying that we had all this money, I was like, you know what? All right, it's time now. Because Damien used to always be like, "Yo, quit your job. And I was like, okay, this is the time. This is the writing on the wall. This is the tipping point right here. So let me go ahead with my brothers and do what I got to do." And then I ain't never looked back from there.
Absolutely, man. So looking back now, you feel like that was the right decision?
Yeah, it was the right decision. Because right now, if I would have kept that, I'd have probably been like working in DC as like the head of the HUD. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been one of the
sounds kind of boring, no offense, but
yeah. This was a much better play.
Absolutely, man. And so with FUBU, man, you guys definitely like influenced the whole culture, man. Like, you guys changed the game in so many different ways, man. Like, do you feel like you got like for example, I've seen some interviews where there was like a lot of people that came after FUBU that actually, looked up you guys for mentorship. Like, before, I think like Diddy had a meeting with you guys. All these guys had meetings with you guys. How do you feel like looking back now, like, what do you think like your influence was on the culture? Like, looking back now.
I think it was huge, because even the meeting with Puff, like, we were pulling up. We went to Puff's one of Puff's party one time, and that's when money was like flowing. So I know we was all riding together. So Damon pulled up. I think Damon had the Bentley, and was it the Bentley? And yeah, he still had the Bentley at the time. He had a blue Bentley, then Jay pulled up with a gray Bentley, and Carl pulled up with the drop top Corvette, kitted out, and I pulled up with my Mercedes coupe, you know what I'm saying? So when he looked at me like, "Y'all getting
They
all this
get money.
money from
Yeah.
fashion?"
Clothes?
And it's funny because it's kind of like the same thing Elle said when I gave him his first check. But when Puff seen that, he was like, "Y'all got to come talk to y'all, because I'm pretty fashionable kid. I'm thinking about starting my own thing." So
Yeah.
then he came and sat with us and met with us, and we gave him some insight, and he ran off and did his thing. And then it was crazy because we told him, he's like, "Yo, I wouldn't say Sean John. I'll probably give it something else designed by Sean John, just in case,
Yeah.
something happened, you don't lose the mark and blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "Man, fuck that. I'm an icon, man. It's going to work." I was like, "All right, bro. I mean, hey, we just giving you advice." Then he got caught up with J-Lo with that shooting thing. And we was
Yeah.
like, man, we were all looking at TV like, man, we hope he don't get railroaded. We hope he's able to get through it, because we've never been any haters, bro. Like, that's what people
It's
don't really
important.
understand. Like we always wanted to see people succeed, and then we've
Yeah.
always gotten hated on. Like from day one, we've always gotten hated on, whether it was you guys are not real designers, all you do is stick your name on a piece of clothing and blah, 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 blah. And it was hate, and it seemed like jealousy because we were doing so well, and we never really had that towards anybody else. Like a lot of these clothing lines were where they at because of us, and we never said anything, we never did anything, like, hey, you owe us this or that. Nah, it was like, Macy's coming to us, well, who do you think should you guys should be around? You should got me around Tommy and Polo. And we was like, nah, we need to be around Sean John, we need to be around Rockaware, we need to be around Mecca, Pure Players. These are the brands that we need to be around. And then they went out and brought these brands into the stores. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it wasn't we needed a pat on the back and none of that shit. We just felt like if we were going to be the catalyst and to pull everybody in, then these guys, we know pretty much everyone that we're pulling in personally, you know what I'm saying? Or someone on their team personally. So it was nothing to say, bring them in, because we weren't afraid of losing any dollars to them. We wanted to take the dollars from over here and bring it to us, man. We wasn't afraid of losing any dollars to anybody. And, we understood that, in this game, you only going to be hot for a couple of years. So our mindset was to think to make as much money as we can so we can do something else.
Right.
What happened with that was we whatchamacallit, we had a guy come on the team, and he was like, "I help grow you guys overseas, yada, yada, yada." So he's like, "All right, I mean, that's, that sounds like a plan." And every time we went overseas anywhere, whether it was just for production or, just visiting certain people overseas or just going out of the country, we always got love. So we was like, I think they fuck with us over there. So we wound up opening up like 200 freestanding stores overseas. And that's what really took us like over the top. Like when people were over here trying to figure out how to get in department stores, we were creating our own stores overseas. So that just put us on a whole nother level.
That's crazy, man. And so, like I said, your influence was crazy. You guys did over 6 billion in sales. And I think that was before social media hit. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you guys did all that before, like, and I think
we used to do events, and we used to just tap in, like even now with the radio station, I got this slogan that says tap into the movement. And we were more than in the clothing line back then. Like it was a whole movement. Like cats used to see us, kids used to see us. Like I've had people from maybe like 6 to like 75 tell me that I'm motivating them. You know what I'm saying? And that's a wide range, because you understand why you might be motivating kids, but how are you motivating grown ass adults? And I remember one year at Magic, this guy he had came out of prison, and he was like, and I don't know, I just had this, they call me like the hood dude or the street personality or whatever the case may be. I'm like a people's person, so I vibe with people.
Absolutely.
I understand what people, sometimes, you may need a little, pick me up or
Absolutely.
get you to the next level. And I'm never, I'm never gonna not provide that. Sometimes I may not give you an hour of my time, but I can give you a good hard 15 minutes and just change your thought process or whatever. But he came up to me, he was like, yo, it's funny as shit, right? He's like, yo, so I'm looking at this dude and he looked rough as hell, bro. I'm like, talking to me? You talking to me? He's like, yeah, yo, come here, man. I'm like,
I don't know.
Man, you come in, man. I ain't going over there, like, because sometimes when you at, I have my jewelry on, everything. I was like,
you don't
this
know.
dude look mad suspect. He trying to get me to walk away from the booth. No, you come to the booth. So when he came to the booth, I brought him in the booth, sat down with him at a table. I was like, what's up? He was like, man, I just want to tell you, you inspire me. And I'm like, he said, yeah, I'm 62 years old. I was like 28 at the time, 29, I think.
3 times your age.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you inspire me. And I'm like, really? Like, trying to figure out where this dude is coming from because I still don't know yet. So then he's like, yeah, I just came home and I used to watch what you guys was doing. I got all your articles I used to put on the wall, and I used to be like, yo, I'm gonna get out of here one day. I'm gonna do the right thing, and I'm gonna come thank these brothers. And he was actually trying to design a line because we motivated him to do a line. So he had some little shirts and whatever he was doing. So he sat down and kicked it for a while. But I always think about that story. I'm like, dude, this dude's like almost 70 years old, and he's telling me that I motivated him. You know what I mean? So, but with us, man, it was like we had our own lane. We didn't like, for us, there was no hating, like I said, because we needed the competition to survive.
Absolutely.
So it's not like, oh, we don't need you guys here and we're going to take all of this for ourselves. It was like, nah, we needed you guys for us to create this so-called urban, designers, whatever the hell you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? But even that, we changed the wordage on that. So when people say, hey, you guys have urban wear, we like, no, we have sportswear. Or your urban brand, no, we're a sportswear brand. Like, you have to change the dialect in some of these people who will interview you in their minds because they will pigeonhole you
Put you
into
in a
urban.
box.
Yeah, and we're more than urban. If I'm selling in Japan and I'm selling in
global.
Saudi Arabia, how could I be urban? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so we we've always had that, that kind of brotherly thing where we wanted to bring other people up the ladder.
Absolutely, man. That's amazing. That's definitely global icons, man. And so you guys relaunched the brand in about 2019, I want to say.
It was actually 2017.
2017.
Yeah, it was what happened was social media started getting a little more broader. And everybody was like, where's FUBU? Y'all need to bring it back out and we'll wear it. And sometimes you can't believe all that because
absolutely,
you'll go back in and design a whole line and fuck around and have a whole warehouse full of stuff. But they were like, you know what? We'll purchase it, we'll buy it. So we were like, okay, now's a different time. You don't have to create 2,500 pieces of one shirt. And, let's do a small little run and see how it goes. So we did a small little run. And it started just selling out. We was like, okay, all right. And then next thing you know, we did a collaboration with Crepe Man. And then we did a collaboration with Pata over in the UK. So it was like those two things did well. So we were like, man, we might be on to something. So I went to Damon one day because everybody at this point is pretty much, Carl is doing his real estate thing and hotel thing, trying to start the first FUBU hotel and get that going at that time. And Jay's working on For Us By Us TV.
Absolutely.
And then at that time,
Absolutely.
at that time, I was just, kind of going through a lot of shit and coming through some shit and my mind, trying to get my mind right. And I told Damon, I was like, asked him, I said, yo, you need any help? Where you at? He was like, as a matter of fact, I do. And I'm like, all right, what you need help with? He said, I don't know. I got a good team around me. I don't know where you can fit, but I'll tell you one thing what I need help with. I need help with UPS. So I was like, UPS? I said, what you need with UPS? He was like, man, I got a $30,000 UPS bill last couple of months, man. I spent $30,000. I said, why are you spending so much on UPS? He was like, I don't know, but if you can help me figure it out, that'd be your job. So I said, so you want me to come back and help you and do shipping, my nigga? Like, like shipping, but at this point, and this is what I want to say, sometimes, you come to these tipping points in your life where
absolutely
you have to, because he used to tell me all the time, like, you're in your own way. And I couldn't figure this shit out for years. I was like, you've been telling me this for like 10 years. Like, why do you keep telling me this? And he was like, I'm just telling you in your own way. You're much brighter than I am. You're much smarter than I am. And you could be much further than I am if you just apply yourself.
That's
so
real.
I went home one day and I kind of stepped out my body and I started thinking about all the things and the ways that I reacted and the things I said and how what made me angry and what this and that. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let go of two things. I'm gonna let go of my pride and I'm gonna let go of my ego. So those
are two big ones right there.
Yeah, I said, my man wants me to come back and I can help him save some money and get a check and still do what I do and help him build this other business and, I just wanted, because at the time I was, I took a couple of years off just to get my mind right because I was going through stuff. So I needed that camaraderie around, you know what I'm saying? Again. So
absolutely. The energy.
So
absolutely.
I got back with him and then I did it, and then the next bill was like $300.
From 30,000 to 300.
Yeah, the next bill was like 100 something. He was like, yo, bro, what happened? I said, well, see, they was taking this and they was putting it in the box this big with a bunch of bubble paper. They weren't sizing out the boxes. So when you could have paid $10, you was paying $130.
It's crazy.
So we figured that out. And then I started doing shipping. And then I went from shipping to becoming a brand manager where I was bringing in different celebrities to be attached to some of the Shark Tank products. And then, it just started going from there. And then I said to myself one day, I said, you know what? D, I'm watching social media and they said, we should bring FUBU back. And he's like, I ain't got no time for that. He's like, I don't have time for that, bro. I got 50 companies I'm working with right now. I can't.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. I said, you know what? I said, I can handle it. I'll just talk to the guys and, get them together and we'll just come ask you for, whatever advice or, let you know what's going on and we'll do it. So he was like, all right, cool. So we kind of started it up. Then we had to do, made those little collaborations. And then, a couple of years later, we started getting the Urban Outfitters and we did Ebbets Field and then Mitchell and Ness. And, we were like, okay, this thing is starting to move now, Then we did a collaboration with, what is that? I'm not losing her name. Heather Sanders out in LA. She owns a boutique out there. For some reason, I can't think of the name right now. It's slipping my mind, but
it was like a woman's boutique, right?
Yeah, she's like Kylie Jenner. She's Kylie Jenner, one of Kylie Jenner's friends, and she's really connected out there. And we did a joint with her, and it blew out. And we were like, okay, cool. Like this thing is starting. Maybe it's starting to like really do what it do. And then we just went full fledged with it. I want to say around 2019. And started really making the moves that we needed to make and securing licenses. We got suits, we had watches, we have eyewear, we have kids coming out, we have Forever 21 coming out. Then we're gonna do something for, because at this time we want to just cover all angles. Like
absolutely.
Before it was like if you're up here, you can't be down here at the same time. So we want to do something for Burlington, for people that want to be Burlington. If you want to get some sneakers at Walmart or whatever you want to do, like, you kind of want to make something for everybody at this point. So we got a lot of big deals. Excuse me, got a lot of big deals coming on the table that I think 2022 is going to be huge. And then we just had a design meeting yesterday for a kids line. So, that's going to kick off next fall. So, I think next year will be and then the thing about it, next year is our 30th anniversary. So
when the documentary coming, man?
We working on that, man. You got to get some, we trying to get some people to buy into it, man. Cats is like, they be on the Damon train, man. They don't understand all the other
everything
stuff
that goes, all the pieces, yeah.
They see cats on TV, and then they just want to be, and that's another thing. And that's what I like to credit my man for, because he'll tell you quick. He's like, yo, I did Shark Tank by myself. I didn't do this by myself. These were my partners, and we did it, So he's quick to let you know.
It's the outside perception.
Everybody be just on the I ain't even gonna say it like that, but he ride. Put it like that. He ride. They be riding them.
Absolutely.
But I think that with the 30th anniversary coming up, and we got a ton of footage of a lot of stuff that we've done. I'm just grateful that we still here 30 years later. Like, there's not too many brands I can even say that and be. Yeah. And you have the Walker-Wears, April, I love her to death.
Shout out to April.
Love her to death. You have that. You have Carl Kana, respect him to the fullest. These two brands are only two brands that I know that I feel that was around when we were around or before we were around, that still, people still want to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think about the Nauticas, the this, the that. Those brands for me are not where we came from. You know what I'm saying? So, anything I can do to shed light on even still 30 years later, my competitors, I would definitely, give props to.
That's real. And so, FUBU Radio, like, how did that get started? And I know that's one of your biggest projects right now. Like, how did that get started? Where did that concept come from? What's going on with that right now?
Man, so FUBU Radio is my baby. Like, what we did with that is I got a good friend of mine who I met, I think back in like maybe like 15, 16 years ago. Just met the dude on a random trip that we were doing. We started kicking it, we started talking, and then we exchanged information. We got cool. He used to come up to New York to see me every time he came to New York. And we just became like brothers, and as I was telling you, when I was going through what I was going through, and we launched that in 2015. So even though we launched it wasn't like it was up and running and doing anything. So we spent the whole year of 2016 trying to get the right music, get the right format, think about the personalities we wanted to have on there and things like that. So when he came to me, he was like, yo, you ever think about starting a radio station? I'm like, no, we did the whole label thing 20 years ago, but nah, I'm not really trying to, what does it entail? Like, I got to buy a radio station. I got to put an antenna on top of it. Like, what do I got to do? Like, and at the time I wasn't in a position to even do that. So I was like, you know what? Let me put this off to the side and concentrate on what I'm trying to do and build this brand up and, all this other stuff I was trying to work on.
Right.
He was like a little gnat. He was just like every 2-3 weeks, he'd come put a little, he'd send me an email. He'd send me a text. He's yo.
Follow game strong. Absolutely.
So finally I sat down with him and I said, what does it take? Because if I sit here and wait for the time is right, it may never get done. So what does it take? And he was like, listen, it's only going to cost this. This is all you need just to get started. And then, I had this like little board, like little tiny board, not even big as a goddamn laptop. And had it on my desk. I bought me a microphone stand and all that. And that was my little studio at the time. But, Demetrius Brown is his name. And he's my partner. He's my business partner now with FUBU Radio. And, once we started, we just never looked back. And, it was hard, trying to get the right people in. And, I tried to go after a couple of celebrities and then they started hitting me with all the, yeah, I need this, I need that,
Mm.
I need ownership in the company, I need points, I need 20,000 a month. And I was like, man, come on, where are you getting that from? You going to
Yeah.
high 97 and get that? You gonna go to 105 and get that? You're not getting that nowhere. What are you talking about? So then I said, I said to my guy, I said, listen, man, we're gonna have to make some stars. We're gonna have to make some people,
Yeah.
celebrities, and let's just find the right team. And I went through like 2 teams. I'm on my third team now. And
Yeah.
in this team, my third team, I've been on for about 3 years out of the 6. So um really I say 5 because you started on the end of December, you already
Yeah. That's not
that's
really it.
already, yeah, that's already in 2016. So um so three years out of the 5, these guys have been with me, so then
Yeah.
the problem that I was facing was, there's not a lot of advertising. Like we reach hundreds and thousands and even sometimes millions of people.
Right.
Why can't I get advertising from, into a black station? Like
Right.
you guys want to tap into everything else with us, but tap into this advertising, tap into what we can do together, and I'm super like, I'm super flexible. Like, okay, this is my price list. All right, you're a startup. Okay, what's your budget? That's all you got? Okay, boop, here's what I can give you for that. You know what
Oh,
I'm
wow.
saying? Like, I'm not like, oh, sorry, can't mess with you. You don't make enough. And I'm not like that. So I'm trying to get to that point where we're pulling in, consistent advertising
How
from
can brands reach out to you for advertisement, by the way?
they can actually go to the website.
Okay.
And then it's an email on there, and you just hit that email and then let us know what you want to do. Um, I mean, I could pull up, I think it's info at FUBUradio.com or whatever, but it's up there on our website. But I was trying, and then I felt like, we were there, but we wasn't really set up the proper way.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
so it was just a lot of going back and forth with my partner. And then COVID hit. So when
Oh.
COVID hit, it was like, damn, we just started getting to a point where we were getting consistent advertising. Every month
Right.
we were getting advertising, and that advertising was help paying for the brand, for the company. Because I'm coming out of my pocket, he's coming out of his pocket, and it's just like every month we just like with nothing coming in, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this ain't nothing but a bill. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So what we did was I kind of sat back and I did a couple of things. And when COVID hit that first 30 days,
Yeah. Scary.
I sat there, literally, I sat there for 30 days on my couch, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then after that, I said, you know what? I can either sit here, I can get up and do something, because whatever's going on, it seems like it's gonna be going on for a while. So I gotta do what I gotta do.
On
So
the
what we
pivot.
did, we just started restructuring the company, and just trying to get the executive team,
Yeah.
down, because now you had the personalities, you had the DJs, all of those guys fit. It's perfect. Now it's time to get the executive team down. So I didn't say anything for maybe a year, because about 10 months it took. So I wanted people to kind of figure themselves out, figure out a way for
Right.
them to make money, to take care of their families. I didn't want to put any extra stress on anybody. I just, me and my guy just made sure that the station sounded great and continued to sound great throughout that time. If people needed a week off, 2 weeks off, because they was going down,
Right.
they was breaking down
Right.
mentally or physically or whatever, take your time off, do what you got to do. We're here. So we have a great family. And then when you work with us, it's more like, it's not really it's a job, but it's more like a family. Like when you
That's
come to
how it's supposed
work,
to be. Culture.
laugh and joke, and everybody has a good time, but everybody works hard. So, it's more like a family. So coming into 2021, I was sitting here and I'm like, all right, it didn't even take us this long with the first brand, with
Yeah.
FUBU. So I got to go ahead and figure this out, because now I'm on my 5th year, and I really don't I'm really still like in this, same spot. Even though we're growing, it's not, something is off. So I kept telling my guy, I said, you know what? We need to get this program director. my guy was, pitching them and saying this guy's great or whatever the case may be. I was like, all right, cool. So we finally reached out to him. He said, it'd be an honor. It'd be an honor to work with you guys. I'm like,
Absolutely.
okay, cool. We brought him in, and we brought but actually before we brought him in, we brought a salesman in, and a guy by the name of Wes Franks. And Wes, super cool dude, very intelligent. We listened to what he was telling us and trying to get to that next level. And then we brought, Nate Bell on, who's our program director right now. Then I brought my boy Chauncey on, who's, a marketing, mind. So now me and him are just feeding off of each other. Me and him and Demetrius just feeding off of each other. And then I just brought on a voice guy, Rick Party, does all of my voiceovers. He does VT, he does ESPN. So he makes the station sound the way I needed it to sound. And then we just added a social media. My girl Whitney Jenkins, so she does media for us. So now it's like, with these weekly, sometimes twice a week meetings, it seems like everything is. So what I was worrying about before, I'm not worried about anymore. I wasn't.
That team makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the station sounding right anymore, because the station. Sometimes I get lost. I'm in the car listening to the station. I'm like, I'm jamming. I'm like, oh man, they jamming. This is my station. Like, you know what I mean? Like I be forgetting sometimes how good we sound. But with that, man, is just keep building, man. I want to be, in a few years, I want to be as big as any other radio station out there.
Absolutely.
And I think with us, we don't come with the corporate bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So even when we did One Music Fest, we about to do One Music Fest again next month. But we did One Music Fest a couple of years ago. The owner came into me and said, man, this is your first time down here, man, and you are killing it. Because my thought process to it was, okay, we got to go all the way to Atlanta. Now we got half the team is in Atlanta, half the team is in New York, another part of the team is in North Carolina. All right. So how do we go down there and make an impact in somebody else's city? Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring these people with me. I need this person for technical stuff. I need these hosts here. I need this. I need people to run around the crowd. I was doing all this in my mind. I'm doing all of this. So by the time I count all these people up, it was like 19 people. So I tell the guy, the owner, I said, hey man, I need 19 tickets for my team. He said, 19? Bro, what the hell? I said, man, I'm coming down here. I'm not trying to bullshit, man. I'm trying to make an impact down here, man. Like really, because I wanna be able to come down next year or when, in the future and sponsor it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be, I want to get to that part where I can sponsor something with my radio station. So my boy Steve is cool, Jay's cool, and they were like, give him what he needs. And while other radio stations had 2 people manning, the whole station, and 3 people tops, I had 6 people around my table, and I had 13, 14 other people, and then other people started seeing people, and they started running around for us. So it was crazy. Like we had people, celebrities was inviting us to their trailers to do interviews. They didn't want to do interviews. They was like, oh, we'll do FUBU radio and we'll do Tigger. T-Pain is like, hey, bring them to the station, bring them to my trailer.
Absolutely.
My boy DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia was like, where Keith at? Keith down here. Yo, tell him come to my trailer. I go to his trailer. You're like, yo, what's up?
Those relationships.
I need you. So, Pharrell's like, I'm only doing Tigger and FUBU radio. So, this time when I go down there, like everybody, Trey Songz, Waka Flocka, I got DMX to do some stuff with us. Everybody show love, man. Everybody show love. So I just want to get to a point with the station where they deem it's necessary for them to come holler at us. Right now we're not there, but we're gonna get there. We gonna command that. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely, man. And so, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing, man. And so, 2020, man, we saw. Well, by the way, you guys have an app though, right? You guys have an app now.
FUBU Radio app is free. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on, you can get it on the iPhone. You can You can tell Alexa to play it. You can, get it on TuneIn. Apple is on Apple Radio. Like it's on iHeartRadio,
Yeah.
radio.com. Like, so it's a lot of platforms that we're on. So we're just trying to continue to build it and try to get it out there. And I think the next 6 months is going to be vital for us because we got the team now to push this agenda out. Before it was just two people trying to run a station, manage people, look for the future, put things together, work regular jobs or other jobs that we have to work. And, and my partner was going to school at the time and working and taking care of kids. And so it was a lot of pressure on everybody. But now it seems like everybody's kind of like in their own lane. And we handling it, a little different now. And, you get a chance to listen to the station. I love to hear what you think about how we sound. And we've always been a customer, consumer related brand.
Absolutely.
Everything we built out for us has been a direct reflection from our consumers. People will walk up to us like, yo, I like y'all shit, man. But, I work on Wall Street. I can't wear that. I can only wear it on Saturday. What they want. So I was like, okay, really? All right, well, so we made suits. You'll wear suits, right? Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like, okay. And then that's how the suits came along. And then that's how, all the different licenses came along. Girls were stealing their boyfriends, T-shirts when we first came out, and then cursing us out in the street when they see us, like, yeah, I need to make something for girls. And he was like, all right, cool. We didn't have no idea how to make it for girls. So we went to the next best company that did, Jordache at the time. Jordache made our ladies line and they killed it for us. And we, were successful with that. But, it's just all about going out and getting the right people, man, to put your, your product out there the right way.
Absolutely. And in 2020, man, we've seen a rise in like podcasts. People was on their phone. Like I think Amazon, they just, they're acquiring podcasts. Spotify acquiring podcasts, and Netflix, they're acquiring podcasts. Do you guys think you guys will ever get into the podcast game?
So what we've done with the radio station is we've, adjusted the personalities to talk more. And not make it more about music, because before it was like, you got to talk for 3 minutes and you got to put on music. You're going to come back for 2 minutes. You got to put on some more music. And now it's more like, being that we license the music and we pay for the music, we can add that to a podcast type of show.
Format,
We already have the M&M show, which is a podcast. They've always been a podcast from the beginning. But we're adding more of the personalities just talking and not worrying about the music. And when we play the music, we'll play a couple of songs, get right back to talking. So we're trying to adjust right now with that type of style into our station. We're also looking for new people to do new shows and trying to figure out how new shows can fit on the station. So that's something that we're looking into as well.
How does one get involved with that? By shameless plug. How does one get involved with that?
I knew you was gonna ask.
Shameless plug, man. Shameless plug. I'm just trying to slide in this a little bit. I do it for free. I just shameless plug.
No, what I mean by that is like, we want to look for, because what I've done before was try to turn people into stars. It worked for some people, or turn them into celebrities, or turn them into a personality. If this is not what you want to do, I can no longer try to turn you into being a podcaster or a personality on the station. So what we're doing right now, we're just looking for people who have, it's not even about a huge following and all that, because sometimes you can buy those, you can fake those, or you could just have those and they're not even paying attention to you. So it's not really about that. It's just all about how you connect with your audience and who's tapping in, and what content you're talking about, how interesting it is, and things like that. So we just trying to, do things like that. We haven't really put it out there yet, because we're still, we just relaunched the station with a whole new system in July 5th. So far everything's been, we had a couple of technical hiccups in the beginning, but everything kind of worked itself out now. So it's really moving how it's supposed to move now. And then, now we're concentrating on social media and marketing and advertising. And then I think probably by the top of the year, we'll probably have everything, every show where it needs to be, and because he even still moving around shows to see what slots work better, and kind of
Absolutely.
doing stuff behind the scenes to see how we could keep it going and maximize the listeners and what
Absolutely.
they're tapping
Absolutely.
into.
Absolutely. That's an amazing answer, man. Thank you so much, man. And so, Keith, man, one of the last questions I'm going to ask you, man, is a question I like to ask all of my guests is what's their definition of success? Now, success, it can vary no matter where you are in life. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could just be spiritual. It could just be good health. It can be any of those things. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is being able to provide for you and your family. You know what I'm saying? Like success, and I'll tell you, I'll be one of the first ones to tell you, like, success is not all what it's cracked up to be, what people think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
everybody wants to be an Instagram influencer and have
Right.
4 million people following you. You can't go to the movies, you can't go
Can't
here,
do
you
nothing.
can't go there, and I went through that and for a period of time. But the good thing about me is rather I've always been grounded. Like,
Yeah.
I've never switched up. Like, I never got money and then people didn't know who I was, or I didn't mess with people because I had money and all that. Because that
Yeah.
to me it didn't do nothing for me. My
Right.
relationships and the people I know and the people I deal with and my family and everything, that to me was success. Being able to go out and see the smiles on their faces and being able to take care of them and things like that, lifting my team. I mean, my team would be the first one to tell you, like, I put them first before they call me, no disrespect, but they call me the Mexican because I do like 10 jobs and they'd be like,
Yeah.
damn, boss man, you be working your ass off. And I'll
You
be
do
like, bro,
everything. Yeah.
I have to. Like, I used to be in the studio, I'd be running the cameras and I scoot over here to the lights and move just the lights. Then I'll come back and I'll be working the board and,
But
you
really, they're
know,
going to do everything.
huh?
A real leader is going to do everything. He's not going to
Yeah, I
just put
mean,
it on
you
somebody
have
else.
to. People were going through stuff. They wasn't coming in, and what do I do? Not have a show. I have everybody
Yeah.
here, like, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things where I tell you, I learned how to do certain things from people so
Right.
that if that happens, I can step in. I'm not might be the greatest engineer, but I can
Get it
I can
done.
work the boards and make you sound good and make the show sound clear. But they always tease me because they like, boss man, you always look out for us. Like, your
Yeah.
main purpose is to make sure we straight. And that's why we fuck with you, because
Yeah.
not too many people are like that. And I want to see my team eat. I tell them that all the time. Like, I want to see you guys take this to the next level and be successful. Even if you leave me, like,
Yeah.
if you get big and you have to leave me and go do other things, just know that we had a bond and I gave you everything you needed to get to that level
Yeah.
and be successful, because I don't expect anybody to be anywhere for, forever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So my thing to me is just seeing my people eat and seeing my people be successful and getting to the next level. And some of them have definitely taken huge strides, and I've seen them go from A to F, you know what I'm saying? So to go to F to S and then, to keep going,
Yeah.
it's going to be a beautiful thing to see. But, that to me, because, like I said, I don't, how can I put it? I don't get off on being successful. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I've been super successful in what I've done so far, and it's cool. But I'd rather just be the guy that's just making tons of money that you never even fucking
Just
see.
chilling. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just rather be that guy. That's why I take a backseat role. And then my team always put, yo, boss man, you a legend. You gotta get out there. And I'm like, yeah, I do, but I gotta get us straight first. And once we
Yeah.
straight, then I can let
Yeah.
go of some reins and then go out there and step out there a little bit. But my main focus is making sure my team is straight. You know what I'm saying? And once my team is straight, and another thing, some of my team who's been here, who's working hard, who's doing this for me, I give them ownership. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you working for me, we working for us now.
Doing it together. Yeah.
So if I blow up one day and somebody says, yo, here go $500,000 for you, or $500 million for your radio station, guess what? Now you may have 20, 30 million in your account, you know what I'm saying? Or 10 million in your account just for
Yeah.
believing in me and letting me do what I do. And in turn, now we eating. you know?
Yeah.
So that's my definition. Like, you know, being famous and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
like, you know, and I learned a lot too, because people used to always tell me, you know, when I was growing up, they're like, don't blow all your money. Don't blow all your money. I'm like, okay, I wasn't gonna blow all my money. But the thing about it is I used to have like 15 credit cards, right? One of my Jewish friends came to me. He said, damn, how many credit cards you got? I was like, nigga, I got credit cards. I'm thinking I'm living large. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And he said, Keith, you only need about 3 or 4, maybe 5 cards tops. And when you do it, get those cards through your bank. Don't go
Yeah.
get these random cards. You know, maybe get
Macy
your
car.
get your American Express or something. But the rest of the cards, if you got a Chase bank account, get a Chase credit card. You got a TD Bank, get a TD Bank credit card. Like, he used to tell me all stuff like that. So I learned a long time ago how to do certain things. You know,
Yeah.
like he'd be like, "Yo, I don't buy no cars. When you buy a car, you just wasting money." And I'm like, "What you mean? Yeah, I own my car 100%." But then when I started owning my cars, and I see once I get out of the finance, you know, my car start fucking up. And I just got to spend 2,000 here, 3,000 here, 7,000 on the transmission. I was like, oh my God.
Damn.
So he was like, I just lease cars. And then when he said, I always got a new car. He said, once I lease it, I get 3 years and I get another car. Lease it, 3 years, get another car. And I'm like, but you spending all the money? He said, trust me, the money you spending on the payments is nothing compared to when you own a car and you spending tons of money to upkeep that car.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of those little gems that I learned over the years, man, that, you know, that just, you know, it just really makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blow my money. I don't do no crazy shit. I don't care who's doing what. I don't care how much jewelry somebody got on, how they look. And like, that means nothing to me. Like, the only thing that means something to me is the name I'm gonna leave behind and what I can do while I'm here for my family and my friends. That's it. You know what I'm saying? All that other stuff, you know, I just want to be remembered as, you know, stand-up dude. You know, if he can help you out, he helped you out. And that's pretty much it. You know, I want to be, like I said, I want to be that dude with just a nice watch on and some really quality clothes on. And you like, oh, you look sharp, you know, got a nice watch, man.
What do you do?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Safe.
you know, so because even now with, you know, me not being, you know, on TV and you know, out there in the public eye a lot, you know, some people recognize me, some people don't. So I'm able to slide in, slide out real quick, and it feels good. It's you know, I don't have to, you know, deal with a lot of shit, especially when I'm in a bad mood. So I'm good,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm good.
Absolutely, man. So, man, well, thank you so much for answering that question for me, man. Keith, you know, it was an honor and pleasure to sit here and talk to you. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to talk to you for this long, but like, you're a stand-up guy, man. I really appreciate your energy, your stories. You're hilarious, man. You have definitely a great personality. I can tell you're a grounded person. You're a great leader, you know, and I really appreciate you. I know your mom probably really proud of you, you know,
Yeah,
looking back at
yeah,
where you were to where you are now, man. It was an
yeah.
honor and pleasure to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And you know, like I said, when you reached out, you know, all you could get is a yes or a no. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you know,
Absolutely.
you don't try, you don't get. So, you know,
Absolutely, man.
appreciate you taking the time and doing this. And much success to you, man, and whatever you're doing and to your show and
Thank
you
you,
know,
man.
just keep going. I've seen you, you know, we've been, you know, I was running the social media when you was tapping in all that time, you know
I
what I'm
know I'm
saying?
annoying,
So
man. I got to, bro.
so, you know, I've been going back and forth with you for a while. So
Thank you, man. I
all
appreciate
right.
that. That knowingness be getting me places, man. So I got to keep doing
No,
it,
it
man.
wasn't really annoying. It's just like you was just on it, you know. Like
Yeah.
every time I turn around, you was reposting. I was like, "Who is this guy reposting?" And I had to go check you out and see who he was. And I was like, "Okay, he's
I
supporting."
appreciate
You know what I'm saying? So when you need something from me, I'm gonna support you as well. We got to do that, man. We got to
it. Absolutely,
lift
man.
each other up, man. Like, you know, it's, you know, I know you got to go, but it's sad out here, man. When I look at people and what we go through as a people, man. It's like, you know, we
Yeah.
killing each other. You know, if we ain't killing each other, drugs is killing us,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know, and you know, it's that like crab in the barrel syndrome. You
Crap.
don't want to see the next person be doing better than you. And you know, I just wish we could get past that, man. You know, support each other more, you know, put more money in our communities, into our
Yeah,
businesses. And you know, you know, I know everybody, you know, sometimes people are like, yeah, but you know, I can't deal with certain people because they, yeah, you know, certain people be like that, but find the people
absolutely.
who are not like that, and support them. So, you know, when you asked me to do this, you know, it wasn't, I didn't even think to, you see how fast I responded. I was like, you said,
Yeah,
yo, I'd love to get you all this stuff. I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean?
I
So,
appreciate that,
because
man.
I see you working hard trying to build something. So, you know, whatever I can do to help you build that up, you know, I'm there.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. You know, I'm
All
grateful
right.
for your words, man. Thank you.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.
All right.